everybody. Welcome to the Glow podcast. I'm here with a very exciting guest today. I have Bridgette from the Belvara Collective. And if you are new here, we are tailored marketing and we help aesthetic clinics and skincare clinics grow their practices and increase their revenue. So if you're interested, drop a comment below. Bridgette, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on. And if you would, just kind of go ahead and give an introduction so the audience knows who you are.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Taylor. I'm so excited to be meeting with you today. I love your podcast and I love what it's doing for our industry, so I appreciate the invite. My name is Bridgette, and I am the CEO of the Belvara Collection, and this is a relatively new concept in the aesthetic space. Our goal is to really support mid-levels such as nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, aesthetic nurses, so that they're able to start their own business without a lot of the headache that typically comes along with that. So they can really focus on what their passion is and grow that passion into a life that they want.
Yeah, no, and I think that's super, super awesome because there are a lot of aesthetic professionals that need that. And so it's such a cool concept and really helping the community as well. So can you tell me a little bit kind of about your journey and how that has kind of led you to starting the Belvara Collection?
Absolutely. So I started in aesthetics close to 15 years ago now. And I am currently located in South Florida, and that's where I started my journey. And I honestly began as a provider. So I started as a laser technician and as aesthetic medical assistant. And I just grew within that practice and had the opportunity to be able to explore the other aspects of the business. And that's really where I found my love just completely explode. I got to do the best of both worlds. I got to help with aesthetics, but I also got to help make the business run smoother, which allowed the team to feel happy and fulfilled. It allowed our patients to feel that as it flowed through the practice. And it was just so rewarding. And I really enjoyed the process.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I feel like that's such like a beautiful combination too when you're working in a field and then you find kind of your specific passion in that area for, okay, this is what I really love doing. Now I can kind of mix these two things together. So that's super, super cool. I guess with the Belvara Collection too, like, did you see kind of a gap where like this was a need for aesthetic professionals where it's like, okay, maybe they don't want to handle the business side of things. They want to just be able to focus on their zone of genius.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely did. The partners that started this collection really explored the aesthetic space for several years before landing on this concept. And when I was presented with the concept, I knew immediately that it would be such an incredible opportunity for providers. If this existed 10 or 15 years ago, I would have joined in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I think, everybody has their wheelhouse, right? They have the things that they're passionate about. They have what they want to do in their day to day. And then there's everything that you have to do in order to make your love and your passions be feasible. So what we really wanted to do in this space, obviously there's so many med spas out there and there's so many providers that are incredible and they're doing such a fantastic job. But being in the operational side of things, I really got an opportunity to see what wasn't working in our space, especially after COVID. There's been such a shift for everybody across every industry. We're definitely not alone in this experience.
Yeah.
And it became evident that with the growth that we were seeing, there wasn't matching principles to allow for that growth in the healthiest way possible. So with this concept, we're able to listen to what these providers are truly looking for. Is it that you want to have your own med spa, or is it that you just want to have more control over your day-to-day life? They're working hard and they're giving so much of themselves as they're engaging with patients. I'm sure anybody truly in any type of aesthetic space can understand that you're not just providing the aesthetic service. You are their counselor, you are their therapist, you are their advisor, you're helping and you're discussing and you're touching on so many different aspects of their life. And so in order for somebody to really just hone in and give what they need to give, to make that patient feel heard and seen in the best way possible. They can't be worried about, when is payroll getting covered? I just lost an employee because they got married. Now I need to hire somebody else. Why isn't that marketing ad running the way we thought it was going to? There's all these small nuances that are all equally important, but may not be within the passion of this provider. So there's this amazing opportunity for the people like myself who love the business side of things, who love the marketing side of things, to be able to take the principles, take the different concepts that we've established over the years and that have truly worked and made a difference in clinics, and then be able to extend them to these providers so that they're able to come in for a completely done suite. It's not just a location. We're providing the actual structure and all of the legal requirements that are necessary to be able to practice in the safest way possible, but the most efficient way possible. And I'm just so excited to let these providers explore it and honestly build it with us. That's one of the most beautiful things about a startup, is that you get to bring people together and build this brand that you never even imagine, and it starts to take on a personality of its own, and it's probably one of the most exciting times within the business structure.
Yeah, no, that is super exciting. And I think you brought up such a good point too, where it's like a lot of these people, they don't get into aesthetics to run their marketing, like learn how to do Facebook ads or learn how to operate payroll. There's all these intricacies to the business that is completely outside of the realm of what they thought they were getting themselves into. And they're like, wait, I just wanted to do lasers, or I just wanted to do Botox. It's and now I have to learn how to do all of this other stuff that has nothing to do with the original starting point.
Exactly. And it can get so overwhelming so quick, and you can have the best of intentions, but it's unreasonable to expect that one person would be an expert in all of these different areas. And if you were to actually sit down and try to calculate what it would cost to open your own practice, you're talking hundreds of thousands, if not close to $1 million of an investment in order to make that feasible and in order to accomplish your dream. So now you're able to do it just such a smaller fraction of that. And you're able to still execute on that same top tier level, which, is another point that I love to highlight. We are keeping these collections relatively small. We want to really hone in and focus on the providers who are fully dedicated to their practice within these regions that we're opening. And we want to ensure that they are the best of the best. They are doing everything that they can to make sure that they're delivering exceptional results and doing it in the safest way possible without having to sacrifice on this luxury experience. We're going to curate the experience while they deliver the results that these patients are looking for. And we're just so excited to see how this all unfolds for them.
Yeah, no, that's super, super awesome. I feel like it's such a cool concept too. And it's a concept somewhat that we've seen, but I feel like y'all are doing it in a different way where you're providing them with so many assets as well for actually running their business and getting patients and all of those things. So in your opinion right now too, with kind of starting the locations for the Belvara collection, what, with the aesthetics industry, obviously it's always changing, there's things that are going to stick around probably for forever, and then there's new things that we're seeing if they're going to stick around. So what type of providers are you okay, we definitely want to make sure we have this, with what's trending right now in the industry?
I think that's a great question. And, there's a few different ways that we can approach that. But most importantly is we want to know what patients are looking for, and we want to provide it. In doing that, again, we're really focused on finding providers that are absolutely exceptional. One way that we're different from other services or other concepts that may be present is, as a provider joins us, we really want them to be honed in on a very specific skill set. So perhaps we have somebody joining us who is going to be offering fillers. We want to ensure that they have the entire book of products that they want to be able to offer to their patients. We want to ensure that they are thoroughly trained in offering the absolute most elite skill set to these patients. So they're constantly going to trainings, they're constantly improving their methods. And then we want to make sure that we're also providing the support that they need on the back end to continue to grow. But they really are focused in on that specific parameter. So we are looking to have somebody who focuses on injectables, somebody who focuses on toxin, someone who wants to do lasers, perhaps different devices that are out there like MiraDry and Elocore, feminine care, wellness, hormones. We're looking to be a wellness collective. So our goal is to allow people to come to Belvara and they know that the research has been done for them. The providers that they're seeing are exceptional. The location is going to be fantastic. They're going to get top tier service. They're going to get quality products that are completely 100% vetted and ordered directly from companies and not from any type of outside sources. We're eliminating a lot of the concerns specifically for people who are just entering in this space. Now they can feel like they have a partner in this space. We're doing that work not only for our providers, but for our patients. Yeah. So we're very open to anything within this wellness sector, anything that's going to make people feel their best. You're not going to look your best if you don't feel your best. You have to start with that, and then you expand out from there.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense for sure. Because like I said, it is always changing. So it's more of like what the consumer needs and making sure that their needs are met within the collection, because obviously you're going to have different providers and these people might be going to multiple providers for these different services, and I'm sure that's the hope.
Actually, you hit on such an important piece. We're really leading this with working towards working collaboratively versus trying to compete. And that is really one of the main reasons why we want these providers to be honed in on these specific things, because then let's say Jenny in Suite 1 is focused on injectables, and then you have Amanda in Suite 2 who's going to do toxin. They both come to us with a certain amount of clients. Well, now Jenny is referring to Amanda and Amanda's referring to Jenny, and everybody continues to grow and evolve and help one another. You are surrounded by people that you can collaborate with, right? That's something that I heard a lot in this space when people started to go off on their own, more into a suite concept. They felt really lonely. They're like, I love it. I love being my own boss, but I really miss talking to my coworkers, and I miss getting another perspective, and I miss collaborating on things. We're trying to solve for that from the very beginning. Like, we hear you. We get that this is so important, especially in our space. We need to work through this competition mindset, and we really need to find ways to collaborate so we can continue to elevate this section of medicine versus allowing it to really just pick away at each other.
Yeah, no, and I think that's amazing too. And I feel like in this space, it's so important for evolution and community to have those people around you who are obviously not doing the exact same thing, but are in the same industry, and you want to learn from them, grow with them. And so, yeah, no, I think that that's great. And so right now too, within the aesthetics industry as a whole, what are kind of like some trends and things that you're really excited about, and things that maybe you're excited to see at the Belvara collection as well?
Really good question. Okay, so personally, I'm very excited about this trend that has honestly, in my opinion, been present for a couple years now. And we've started to talk about why aesthetics are becoming a priority in people's lives. Is it just because we want to look good, or is it because we want to build confidence? Is it because we want to feel our best? Is it because of X, Y, and Z? There's a million different reasons, right? But in this conversation, I think we have really come to a point where we're starting to celebrate everyone's unique qualities. And to me, beauty has always been unique, right? Yeah. We don't all want to look like the Barbie doll in the window. If we wanted to, like, that would be we don't want to copy and repeat. And I think for a little bit of time there, the trends were to get specific areas done in a very specific way. And we all started to look like one another. And we lost some of that unique beauty that is so incredible. And so it's the type of beauty that you look at someone and you're just like, wait. And you kind of look again and you're like, wait, what's making me look at them again? It's these little tiny things that you may not pick up on right away. And I think that the industry has really shifted to celebrate that. And so now we're more focused on the skin health. How can we make ourselves healthier from the inside out? And then how can we work from the outside in? So we're seeing a trend in things like microneedling, PRP, PRF, things that come from ourselves that are used to just maintain or are used to help enhance the things that are already beautiful, or again, just really focusing on the health of the skin. We don't necessarily have to be restructured in our face, but we want our skin quality to look bright, and we want it to look healthy, and we want it to look tight. our structure is what makes us unique, right? So
Yeah.
we're shifting more towards these things, celebrating who and what we are, and then allowing for these treatments to maintain, perhaps elevate slightly. But again, it's building confidence, it's building wellness. These are things that should be celebrated on a regular basis. If you feel
Yeah.
better, you're going to present yourself stronger to the world, and that's something that we all strive for. So I'm excited to see that shift happening and really excited to see where it's going. I think we have a lot of things to look forward to over the next couple of years.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you too. I think, like, as I've been even just talking to people within this space, I feel like a lot of people have said that. Like, we're not shifting to where it's like doing away with aesthetics. It's just almost like doing it kind of in a little bit of a different way than maybe we were previously, where we're really focused on enhancing the qualities that are already there. And like, I was even talking to somebody recently, we were talking about filler, and they were like, yeah, I've never seen filler that like looks good. And I was like, no, I promise you have. You just don't know they have it.
A huge megaphone and just shout this to the world.
Yeah.
Shocking to me in 2025 that we still have people believing that that's true. There's so many beautiful examples. You just, when it's well done, you don't know that it's there. That's the point. That's what we're striving for. That's a good thing.
Exactly. I'm like, all the people that you see like on social media in Hollywood, like probably 90 to 95% of them have filler somewhere in their face. It's just we're shifting to this point where we really are focused on enhancing natural beauty rather than like trying to create something that's not there. You know, it's like, just how can we make these features that you already have that are beautiful more beautiful or lasting, you know? So yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I started in this space when I was about 19 years old, maybe 20. And, when I first started, I didn't know a lot about the medical side of aesthetics. I was coming more from, a facial esthetician and a laser technician. And so as I started to watch, the first time I saw injections being done, I was like, whoa, okay, that's a needle in somebody's face. That's a lot. There's a lot happening here. And you're kind of building up your opinion and you're trying to decide, where do I land on this? Is this something I'm going to do? Is this something I'm comfortable with? And I have to tell you, again, I had the privilege of being with the same clinic for 14 years, and the injector there was absolutely incredible. She's world renowned for her skills, and so I got to see a lot of unique approaches to filling. And the women who started stay in their 30s, even in their 40s, before significant aging had really taken place. They did the tiniest bit here. They did a little bit there. They just tweaked this. Perhaps they noticed that something was shifting, so maybe they added one filler, but then they did some laser and then they did some microneedling. And those women, a decade later, did not age. They looked like they did when they started this journey. And they didn't have anything about them that looked fake, anything about them that looked overdone or that looked too seen.
Yeah.
All just looked like themselves, but they were 10 years older. And that's what the space is about. And that was when, as I started to see that as the years evolved and as the years moved on, I'm like, oh, no, this is the way to go. This is what we need. This is a good thing. This is going to make a difference. You want to look like you, and you want to maintain that as long as possible. And that's what the space allows you to do. And that's a beautiful thing when it's done organically in a very conservative way and with that mindset and approach.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I feel like, that's what the space is about. It's just about looking like you and looking, as good as you can for as long as you can, because why not?
Right.
Why not? Who doesn't want to look good?
Exactly.
Yes, no, I think that that's great. And so kind of going back to the Belvara collection as well, I know right now you're kind of focused on getting the first location open and kind of getting that proof of concept. What does growth look like for you for the next few years, and what are you focused on with that?
Oh, we're just so excited to see how this evolves. I can't even tell you. Every day we're working on a new aspect of the project, and I just get more and more excited. So we are going to be starting in Chicago. We'll be in the Chicagoland area, and we're looking at probably a location in the city and the suburbs. So we will see how things perform there, and then our goal is to really bring this to providers all over the country. So We're focused on helping the providers that need the most help first. We are setting up everybody's full legal entity. We're setting up an MSO, a PLLC. We provide the doctor, the medical director. Again, we're taking care of these really nuanced things that can get incredibly expensive very, very quickly. And we're doing it with top-notch professionals. So we want to focus on states that have those heavier restrictions and that make it a little bit more difficult for these mid-levels to be able to go out on their own. And these restrictions are good and bad. We want to protect the patient. So we're not upset about the restrictions. We want to work with them because our goal is to be able to, again, provide the best of the best, somebody who is absolutely incredible and absolutely safe and reliable. So we want to work within the laws that are in place, but we also want to make sure that the laws are working for these providers. And that's really where we come in. So we're going to focus on states that, make that a little bit more difficult. And we're excited to be able to help people realize their dreams.
Yeah.
Going to be so fulfilling. I've gotten to work on the aesthetic side where I get to see people feel better as they walk in and out of the office each day. And now I am so excited to help people create their dream life and make their goals a reality and really hone in and focus on the things that matter most to them. So every day that they show up, they're showing up as their best selves. That's a privilege to be able to play a role in that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so I'm assuming Illinois then has a little bit of those stricter laws, because that's pretty smart too, to help out these providers in the areas where it's okay, they do have stricter laws, so it's going to be harder for them to go out on their own, but making a way where they can. What are some of the other states that have some of those stricter laws too, off the top of your head?
Oh man, there's several, honestly.
Yeah, I know California too.
California definitely can be. Honestly, several throughout the whole Northeast coast. It's really the majority of the country. Over half of the country falls within these parameters. So we're excited to see how we can grow and evolve into each of these states. And we're excited to learn the nuances of those states because, aesthetics certainly is similar across the board, but each area has their things that make them unique and make them different. So we're excited to dive in on those things and just, again, make Belvara a very well-rounded solution for both providers and for patients.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so since your official launch, then what kind of feedback have you seen from the market with, I guess, patients, and then also with with aesthetic professionals as well?
So we are still ramping up to our official open day, I will say. So we are definitely still building out all of those details, but so far the response has been so positive. People are so excited to talk about the concept, to talk about how it can continue to evolve. Like I said, every week I think we sit down for our meetings and it's okay, but we can also do this, and okay, we can do this, and okay, we can do this. Another unique thing that we're offering is the ability to have health insurance through the Belvara Collection. That's something that a lot of providers are so nervous about leaving their benefits. Understandably so, when health insurance can cost upwards of $1,000 a month nowadays. That's a mortgage for some of us.
No, it's crazy, honestly.
It is. So again, we're leading with that. We want to find the solutions. So we're listening, and I would love to invite anybody who is watching this, if you have an idea, if you have a suggestion, if there's something that you are striving for that you think Belvara can help, that's where we want to plug in. We want to hear those things. We want to hear how we can continue to support and show up for these providers and these patients as well. So that's really what I'm excited about.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And as someone who's worked in the aesthetics industry since you were, like you said, 19 or 20 years old, what are some tips or advice that you would kind of give to anyone within the industry who's maybe just starting out, or maybe they're kind of at a place where they're at a crossroads within the industry and trying to figure out where to go next?
I love this question so much. So as much as you can, just lead with authenticity. I think that we're living in a really fast-paced world, and we are so connected through social media, and there's so many blessings through these different modalities. But what can come with that is confusion, and you can lose clarity, and you can lose sight of what is truly feeding your soul and what you're actually striving for. There's just a lot of noise, and sometimes noise can be a good thing. It can direct us in another way. And sometimes it can just pull us back from what we really should be focused on. So I would just say take a breath, really take a beat. Give yourself a minute before you pivot too hard in one direction or another. I would say just really sit with yourself and be honest about what is making you really happy right now, what is feeding your soul, how do you want to show up in this space. I think that for a brief period, we had a lot of people simply coming in because they saw the financial opportunity. Financial opportunity is so important in life. However, in a space that is designed to serve others, that shouldn't be our leading priority. It should be something that comes because we're leading with the idea that we want to really make a difference in somebody's life in one way or another. So I would say just get really clear on what you want that to look like for you personally, and then surround yourself with people who build into that so that you can continue to build into them and they can continue to build into you. And be honest with yourself as you're doing that. So make sure that you're constantly in a place where you're allowing for growth and evolution of the things that you're working hard for. And then just don't be afraid of doing the hard work. It's not going to come easy. It's going to take some sacrifices. And those are going to be the amazing stories that you get to share when you do meet with success. And those are going to be the amazing stories that carry you through when you don't, because inevitably you're going to have both, because that's life. But just enjoy the process. And I think when you lead with an authentic place and you're coming from a place of truly wanting to make a difference in people's lives, you just can't go wrong. You're going to find happiness for yourself and for the people you're trying to serve.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think, and you brought up a good point too. It's like some people do go into things for the financial benefit of it. I mean, anything you do, yeah, you want to make money, but it's also, especially when you're working in the medical industry, you're making a difference in these people's lives, you know? And that's really what the focus should be, at least first, you know, and then you can focus on the other things too, because the other things matter, but they'll come if you are focused on what you want to do and like how you want to serve people.
Exactly. And there's just a lot of amazing people out there doing amazing things. We want to highlight those folks and we want to continue to strive to be those ones, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to share with people? Of course, I definitely want you to share where they can find the Belvara Collection, where they can find you on social media, and then if there's any final thoughts or words that you have as well.
Sure. Well, again, Taylor, thank you so much. I think what you're doing to connect professionals within this space is absolutely incredible, and I love how you're highlighting so many different people and how their uniqueness is shining within this space. So again, just thank you very much for having me join you today. I would say, right now, again, very, very startup. So guys, we are still building our website. We are still building our social media, but you can definitely find us at, thebelvaracollection.com in a couple of, and then also on social media at Belvara Collection. You can find me on LinkedIn. Again, my name is Bridgette and I'll be affiliated with the company on there. But if you do have any questions, if you're looking to get a little bit more information about the concept or in any way, shape, or form, you're more than welcome to email me at bridgetdbelvara.com. So I would love to hear from you. Again, any interests or questions or suggestions, anything, even if you just want to say hello and connect. Always looking to connect with other people who are passionate about this space. But thank you so much for allowing me to share about this next passion project. I'm excited to bring it to everybody in the Chicagoland area and hopefully soon across the country.
Yes, no, that is awesome. And I'll also put everything that you said too in the show notes as well. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on. It was so great talking to you, and I wish you nothing but success in the future.
Thank you, Taylor. Same to you.
Thank you.